Hello there, and in the past I've done some videos talking about adaptations and how I said they should be faithful. You know, like show Hollywood starlets how you should be with your in marriage, but anyway. But I am kind of a hypocrite on that subject, and also this isn't scripted, so you'll probably be hearing a bunch of ohms and uhs in a procession that would make you think you're listening to a white version of Obama, so be warned there. Like I did write something down, but then I said, fuck it. I normally take umbrage with how adaptations are done, but here's the thing. Sometimes when it's not faithful, it actually can be okay. Films. Two examples come to mind. One is Hellboy, although maybe also Blade, because then again, I never read the Blade comics. I've read some of the Hellboy books. But there's that and the Wanted movie, which I've previously done a video on, and I have another one planned, talking about some themes that I think were accidentally injected into the movie. But anyway, I'll start with Wanted, which is, again, one of my favorite movies of all time. I used to watch the shit of it in high school. Like, every time it was on TV, I would watch it. I did not care how late I would have to stay up. But, like, my point is, you don't always have to be faithful to adaptations. Like, in this case, I am kind of a hypocrite on certain movies. Like, one is a prime example. It took some stuff from the comic, like the ability to carve bullets, and took certain subplots, like the murder of Wesley's father, but it made its own original story, and, like, it changed some stuff up. Like, in the comics, the fraternity was an organization comprised of villains who got rid of all the heroes. In the movie, the fraternity is an order of assassins, specifically the American branch, which is based in Chicago for some reason. Actually, no, that makes sense, given that the Bastion of Blaster Control is filled with so many dead bodies from gun violence. But anyway, so it took some stuff and incorporated, but did its own thing. It still had it had characters from the comics in there, but they were changed up somewhat. Now, compare this also with Hellboy, which took some storylines from it took some stuff from the comics, but it went in a different direction, I would say. I mean, I think it was still faithful, but then again, it's been years since I read the comic of Hellboy, so. But here's the thing, they did their own thing, and the reason why I think these two movies worked is because they were made in a time when we had competent people in the entertainment industry. We didn't have the J.J. Abrams of the world. So, I would say if you're not going to be faithful to it and you're going to do your own thing, either go big or go home. Because, like, the people now, they are creatively lazy. They just copy stuff from what came before. They have egos the size of Tennessee. And are apparently compensating for some in that same regard. And they are just not good creatively at making stuff. Wanted, it took creative liberties. And I know the people who like the comics hate the movie. I will say this, I prefer the movie to the comic, because from what little I know of that shitty comic, it actually not even shitty. If you like it, you like it, but I think it is shitty because in that comic, Wesley Gibson is a piece of shit. He at least once apparently struggle-snuggled a starlet. Killed some people. In the movies, Wesley Gibson was made more likable, more sympathetic. When he makes mistakes, he tries to make up for them. I like lots of stuff about him that I like. He's genuinely a good person who's had a shitty life. And he's been given an out from it. With Hellboy, it was also a fact of Guillermo del Toro. He was actually a fan of what he was doing. He was a fan of the Hellboy comics, supposedly. So, and he has a fondness for monsters. So he was at least trying to be faithful in spirit to the Hellboy movie. And that's how I'm looking at it. I've only seen it a few times, but I would say he was at least trying to be faithful in spirit to the comics. Whether it's a hit or miss, you'll have to tell me in the comments, because, again, I do not remember much about the Hellboy comics. So yeah, I think there are certain times when you should be faithful. Other times, if you're someone who puts your all into it, like puts your absolute A game into it, then go for it. Go with God and try not to fuck it up. like that's one of the things I like about Wanted. It felt like everyone involved was doing their damn best, their best damn job possible. With the stuff that makes now, it feels like they're lazy. Like from the story to the acting to the special effects. Like go look at what was that movie called? It was the Doom movie, Annihilation. Look at the special effects for that. It is laziness to the max, from what I remember seeing of it. And yeah, so my point is, if you're not going to be faithful, and I've said this already, but I'll say it again, if you're not going to adapt it fully, then make something of your own, take it and make it your own, but actually put your heart and soul into it. If not, do not bother. You're just going to piss people off, and the fans are going to be more disillusioned with Hollywood. In fact, I think people should stop giving money to Hollywood in general, but anyway, and should also go into making more TV shows that aren't shit, but anyway, I think that's all I want to say on the matter. Is just, I am kind of looking back on certain things I've said in the past and making counter arguments to them. So yeah, in terms of like when it works, I would say yeah, it's possible to make an adaptation that is not faithful to what it was supposed to be adapting, but it's sort of a dick move unless you're trying to make something purely for entertainment factor. And again, I go back to Wanted and Hellboy and Blade. All three of those entertained me. At least have that in mind when you're adapting something. If not, you are wasting your time, my time, and believe me, you do not want to waste my time because I cherish that like manna from heaven. And you've wasted money, both that the studio's given you and the money I'm giving you. I mean, the studios probably don't help with the fact they now like to enforce their own bullshit on the movies, but anyway, I think that's where I'm going to end it. Yeah, that's the video. Have a nice day. Remember, the game was rigged from the start.